Have you ever had one of those amazing ideas you just know it's a game changer, but for some reason you can't get anyone else to see it? Well, that gap, that space between your brilliant idea and getting people to actually believe in it, that's what we're going to tackle today. We're talking about how to build presentations that don't just share information, but actually create trust and really command attention.
I mean, think about it. You can do all the work, you can know your topic inside and out, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head, right? What if they just don't believe me? That right there, that's the credibility gap. It's like this invisible wall that can stop even the best ideas cold.
So, how do we get past that wall? Well, it all comes down to what we're calling the credibility question. Before you can convince anyone of anything, they have to trust you first. And look, this isn't just one small piece of the puzzle. It's the entire foundation that everything else rests on.
I want you to picture it like this. Your amazing idea is sitting on one side of a huge canyon, and your audience and their trust is way over on the other side. The only way to connect the two is to build a bridge. And that bridge? It's built plank by plank with solid, undeniable proof.
You know, every solid building needs a rock-solid foundation, and for our bulletproof presentation, that foundation is just good, old-fashioned, thorough research. And this isn't just about grabbing a few facts here and there. Nope, this is about digging deep and gathering all the raw materials you're going to need to build your case.
Okay, so you see a term like content development, and I know it sounds a little corporate, a little dry, right? But let's just break down what it really is. It's simply the process of taking that deep research and that credible evidence and weaving them together to create a message that's actually compelling. At its heart, it's the art of finding great proof to tell an even better story.
So, where do we get all these materials? Well, you've got a whole toolbox at your disposal. You can start broad with things like online searches or literature reviews. Or you can get way more specific and get direct input through surveys and interviews. And of course, you can go for the hard numbers with data analysis. Each one of these gives you a different kind of proof to work with.
All right, so we've laid the foundation, we've got our materials on site. Now it's time to actually start building. This is where we shift from the big picture idea of research to the specific, tangible building blocks that make up your argument, your evidence.
And these are your absolute go-tos. These are the essentials. Statistics give you those hard, undeniable numbers. Examples and case studies, they make your abstract ideas feel real and concrete. Expert opinions let you kind of borrow credibility from people who are already trusted. And visuals, oh man, visuals can make a super complex point crystal clear in an instant. These aren't just random facts. They're the pieces of proof that will get your audience nodding along with you. But here's the thing, just having a pile of great building materials isn't enough, right? You need a blueprint. You need a plan to put it all together. And that's what this next part is all about, how to expertly assemble all that research and evidence into a structure that's not just strong, but is actually engaging for the people listening.
The very first part of our blueprint is all about one thing, clarity. Because let's be honest, if your audience can't understand your proof, it doesn't matter how great it is. So step 1. Select only the most relevant research. No data dumping. Step 2, simplify it and explain it in plain language. And step 3, and this is a big one, whenever you possibly can, visualize that data. You got to make it easy for them.
Okay, take a quick look at this sentence. Go ahead, read it. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? This is how data gets presented all the time. Just a wall of text and numbers that forces the audience to work way too hard just to figure out what the main point is.
Now look at this. It's the exact same data, but shown visually. Instantly, you get it. Your eye just goes right to that huge 67% slice for option A. The information is immediate, it's easy to understand, and it's way more memorable. That right there is the power of visualization.
Here's another incredibly effective technique. On the left, you've got a dry fact, our response time improved by 15%. Okay, fine, but pretty forgettable. Now, look at the right. We meet Sarah, we can feel her frustration waiting 20 minutes, and then we share in her relief when she gets help in under 3. Why does this work so much better? Because our brains are literally wired for stories. When you wrap your data in a narrative, it becomes relatable, it becomes emotional, and it just locks itself into your audience's memory.
You know, you can also borrow some credibility. You don't have to be the only expert in the room. Using a short, powerful quote from a recognized authority is like having them stand next to you and co-sign your argument. It adds instant weight and really helps reinforce your points. So, Beyond being clear, our blueprint has to actively build trust. And this part is all about intellectual honesty. You do this by citing your sources, by being ethical and acknowledging any limitations in your data, and yes, even by addressing research that seems to contradict your point. I know that sounds weird, but doing that shows you respect your audience's intelligence, and it shows you're confident enough in your own conclusions to be transparent. And of course, always tailor your evidence to what actually matters to them.
Okay, we've talked about the foundation, the building blocks, and the blueprint for putting it all together. So let's wrap this up with the single most important idea to take away from all of this.
At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. Your goal is not to just dump a mountain of facts onto your audience. It's about using that information strategically. You're using it as a tool to build that bridge of trust, and a tool to tell a story so compelling that your idea starts to feel like their idea.
So, the next time you're getting ready to share something you really care about, remember this process. It's not just about what you say, but about how you build the belief behind it. Everything really comes down to one final question. Your data is ready. What story will you tell?